Simple to make, this Vietnamese chicken noodle soup is a comfort food that is deeply delicious and easy on the wallet. This is Pho. Hey everyone, I'm Flo, Duty's behind the camera, and we're all about simple food, simple faith. We're well into fall now, and so being in Vancouver, it is rainy and dreary most days. And there's nothing more comforting than noodle soup. And so today we are making a very simple recipe, Vietnamese chicken noodle soup, which is called Pho. And I will just show you just how simple it is to make. This is real life, people. My kids are going to youth group at church tonight, and I seriously have to get dinner on the table. So let's get started. I have one giant onion here. You can use two smaller ones. I'm gonna cut it in half, and we are going to char the onion in the pot. And this will just add depth of flavor. Turning my pot on to medium-high heat. I am adding a tablespoon of avocado oil, and you can use whatever cooking oil. Just make sure that it's neutral, like a canola oil or vegetable oil. And I know for my pot, I have to add the oil right away. In the meantime, I also have a giant thumb size piece of ginger. I am going to, maybe I'll just cut this in half. And we're gonna char this along with the onions. Pho can be more complicated to make by making the chicken stock from scratch. So we're doing some little cheats today by using chicken broth. And also I'm gonna be poaching my chicken in the liquid, so that will also add flavor to the broth. Once your oil is hot, we're gonna put the onions down. I'm gonna put it down the other way. Along with the ginger, face down. And we're gonna let this cook untouched for 5 to 10 minutes until you start to see that dark caramelization on the bottom. And it could be burnt as well, like you really want that deep flavor in the onions. We just turned off the heat. I think it's been about 4 minutes, not even 5. I just wanna show you the bottom. That's what you want, to be totally charred, just like that. Check out the ginger. Adding a tablespoon of rock sugar. And if you don't have rock sugar, you can use a tablespoon of regular sugar. 2 star anise. And 4 cloves. The sizzling is just from the heat of the pot. I've completely turned off the stove already. We're also adding half a teaspoon of coriander. I'm using ground coriander. If you don't have ground coriander, you can use a teaspoon of whole coriander and just toss them in there. And 1 stick of cinnamon. Adding 4 cups of water. I'm also adding 6 chicken thighs. That's about a pound of chicken thighs. We're just gonna plop them in there in the cold water. And this is, we're gonna poach the chicken so that it's cooked and we have chicken to go with our noodles. And this will also add flavor to the soup. Make sure the chicken is submerged. We're turning the heat back on high. We're gonna bring the water to a boil, and then we're going to lower the heat and let the chicken cook in a simmer. All right, I'm sorry, I completely forgot to add the fish sauce. 3 tablespoons. And a bunch of cilantro. Just toss that on top. All right, now we're gonna wait for it to boil. While we're waiting for everything to boil, I am going to cut up some cilantro for garnish. This will go top your soup in your bowls. So just a little bit, maybe about 2 tablespoons worth. If you don't like cilantro, you can leave it out. Even in the soup, if you don't like the cilantro, just leave it out. Once it's reached boiling, just a gentle boil, I'm gonna turn the heat down to low. Let it simmer. All right, just like that. And we're gonna put the lid on and we're gonna cook it for 10 minutes. A couple years ago, I planted some seeds for bunching onion, but they never grew. And lo and behold, now they're growing out of nowhere. It's so bizarre. This was 2 onions. So I'm just going to chop it up and we're going to use it to garnish our pho. But this is awesome.
Well, anything that's free is awesome.
Right, like 2 onions. It looks like 3 or 4 onions here. All right, that's a lot, eh?
It is.
Just gonna put it onto this plate. All right. It's been 10 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna fish out the chicken. You know, I used chicken thighs today, but if you guys wanna use chicken breast, you can totally do that. We're gonna let these rest on the board for about 5 minutes. I'm gonna turn my pot back on to boiling, and we're gonna add 4 cups of chicken broth. This is so that we get enough broth for all the soup noodle bowls. So this will serve 4 to 6, and we don't want to run out of soup. This is the cheater part, because we're not cooking a whole chicken and using that broth, which takes a lot longer. This is just a quick version of pho ga that you can feed your family quickly, in a healthy manner, good tasting, delicious meal.
Way better than instant.
Yes, way better than instant. And way easier on the pocket than paying, what, $16, $18 a bowl of pho these days. It is just way too expensive to eat out. All of this is less than, I don't know, my chicken was like $7. The noodles are like $2. Okay, chicken broth is probably the most expensive at like $3. 12 bucks, guys, for the whole thing. Once it's boiling, turn it down to a simmer, and we'll just let that simmer until we've cut up all the chicken. I'm just gonna thinly slice the chicken.
Yeah, that's a lot of chicken.
Yeah, not bad, right? It's a pound of meat. We are using this Vietnamese pad thai noodle. They're like a rice stick noodle, and they literally take 2 seconds in boiling water to heat through. So that's why I like using the fresh, and it's like $2 for a pound of noodles, and this will feed 3 to 4 people. You can get them dried and just follow the package instructions on how to rehydrate those. Right, turning off the soup. Oh, if you guys could smell how delicious this all smells, it's amazing. All right, so here's the noodles already rehydrated. Adding some chicken. I'm gonna spoon the soup in. All right, it already looks like the restaurant, right? Add some cilantro, and some green onions, and that's it. It's going to be served with some bean sprouts, some chili, if you want to add some chili. I'm just gonna leave them whole because we really don't use them, but you can slice them up. I have some lime that we'll squeeze on top, and lo and behold, Thai basil that I planted in the spring finally decided to sprout a few weeks ago.
Great timing.
It's perfect. Are you all ready for?
Definitely. The taste. What you see at the restaurants, and you know, you guys who go to Vietnamese restaurants, you get the bean sprouts and the chilies of different varieties. Most of the places here on the West Coast rock jalapenos, or at least in Vancouver, limes, and basil.
Thai basil.
Thai basil, thank you for that. So, gonna get some of these in here. Gonna squeeze a lime on here and try not to get any on myself. And the other condiments that you'll see at the table is the sriracha and the hoisin sauce. Let's try some of the soup. Because the basis of a good pho is like a good soup noodle is like, well, the broth is gonna be good. Good chicken flavor, but, oh yeah, I forgot. You can also add just more fish sauce to your preference to make it more umami-like. So if it's not salty enough, which is this, I need it to be more salty, I would add more salt to taste, or more fish sauce, or both myself here. Noodles, good, fresh, chicken, tender. It's a good wholesome meal that you can make at home. Yeah, there are steps, but the results are a great tasty meal, and it's easy on the wallet.
Awesome, thanks, dude. I really need to read through my own recipes. In the recipe, it does say to add some salt, so I did add more salt and it made it much better. So make sure that you adjust the flavors to your preferences. For more Vietnamese recipes, check it out. I will see you over there.